defense is trash.
Okay.
We conceded that a long time ago.
Sure.
Okay. The defense and secondary. I mean, listen. When you look at their front four, they're a bit healthy. They can get to the quarterback. They didn't have time to get to the quarterback because people were open. I'm talking about what did they? What is it? What did happen? What is it? 11. I mean, Ryan Tannehill completed his first 11 passes.
Yes.
His first 11 passes. 9 of their first 17 plays were for first downs. Yep. They can't stop a cold. I've been saying that for weeks. Their defense is trash. The only good game they had was the second half against the Washington football team, a team without a name and with a muffler as a quarterback. Don't get me started with the Washington football team. That's all. It's the truth. And that's all they had. Their defense is trash. We all understood that. And unless Dan Orlovsky is willing to sit here and say, Patrick Mahomes ain't the best quarterback in football, I don't want to hear anything from you because I have nobody said that yet. This man has not looked like the best quarterback in football. We know that, and we want to say that. But when are we going to say definitively he's not the best quarterback in football? Because let me tell you something right now. I look at him, and I look at the defense being trash, and because of it, he's trying to overcompensate. You're right in terms of him needing to make the conventional play, the easy play, and stop looking to engage in heroics. That may be true, but it has worked for them in the past. It's not working for them now. Right. So now you got 3 quarters of the season to right the ship. We got Andy Reid, a veteran head coach and a Super Bowl champion now. We got Eric Bieniemy, a big-time offensive coordinator. We still got Patrick Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce. You got Tyreek Hill. You got McCole Hardman. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm saying that these brothers can sit up there and right the ship. I'm not trying to act like they were impressive yesterday. They were horrible. But I'm saying, could they right the ship enough to be one of 7 teams in the playoffs in the AFC? Yes, they can.
Let me tell you the issue here. And even watching Patrick Mahomes talk about it, and I remember it. I remember going through it. What they're going through right now is the reality that nobody's scared anymore.
Sure.
And you walk in a game, you think you're still that old team, and you think you're just going to shake it off and go back to killing people and dictating from an offensive standpoint, because that's what they've been doing for years. They've dictated to defenses, this is what we're going to do. We'll make you do this and then tear you up. And they no longer can do that. And I'm going to tell you something. Every game you go in, I don't care that you are no longer the same team. Every game you go in, they're still going to say, well, these are the Super Bowl. They went to back-to-back Super Bowls. That's what we're playing. So now you got to match that intensity when you have all the doubt that you have. I remember Dion coming in that room one day when we were talking. We had just lost another game. And he said, Mike, we got to do something about it. I looked at him. I said, time, it's over. Yeah. The dynasty is over. That dynasty right now, as we know it, the Kansas City Chiefs, it's over. They will not get to the playoffs this year. Nobody's even talking about their schedule. They can come out of these next 4 games going into the bye at 1-3. They can lose these next 4. They got a tough schedule coming up. They got New York, then they got Green Bay, Las Vegas, and Dallas. They can lose all 3 of those games.
That is a gauntlet.
That's 1-4 before the bye. This is over for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't know if they can get it back.
I'll answer your question. Right now, Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in football. He is still the most talented player.
Right, we're talking about playing.
But he is not the best quarterback in football right now. He's not even playing top 5 right now.
I agree.
Right.
Stephen A., you know what offensive line has given up the most pressures in football this year? The Kansas City Chiefs. Right. So if we're going to sit here and say they are going to fix the things that they're not doing well, it will start with the offensive line. It can't. They're not playing good football. Right. Their left tackle's not playing good. He's not a pass-blocking offensive lineman. He came from Baltimore in a run-blocking scheme. Their right tackle has been getting beat by like a drum all year. The interior has been incredibly inconsistent. McCole Hardman cannot be the guy that pulls the Chiefs out of mistakes. CEH is not going to be the guy that pulls them out of mistakes. If you think that they're just going to flip the switch and stop with the penalties and stop with the takeaways, that's good. But I'm not buying that.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying that let's take everything into consideration. In 2019, Kansas City had 45 sacks.
Okay.
Last year, they had 32. Okay? You weren't getting to the quarterback the way that you were. You blitzed about 7% more than you did the previous season. You have to understand that from a defensive standpoint, they recognize their inhibitions. They recognize their flaws, their deficiencies, et cetera, et cetera. What you had was a quarterback that could make up for it. When did everything really, really turn? It turned in the Super Bowl when we saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life. Okay. Because the mystique that they had in terms of being an offensive juggernaut and explode. Because remember, in the year that they went to the Super Bowl, they were down They were down by 24 in a playoff game.
Every
They were
game,
down by
double digits
17
by every game.
in a
Down double
17
digits every
in an
game.
AFC Championship game.
Right.
And
came back.
everybody knew they were going to come back because their offense was that explosive.
Right.
The difference between then and now is that Patrick Mahomes is making some mistakes that he usually is a caretaker of the football. That hasn't been the case this year. Do you have confidence that he could clean that portion up?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
And if he takes care of the football, okay, and he's willing to take the methodical approach that you pointed out, not looking for the home run all the time, then do you have confidence that
when you've had that kind of success?
He didn't do it
Hold on. This
When
is
you
what I
had
don't
that kind of
understand from
success.
this conversation.
Sure.
Is this a talent issue? Is this an
not.
execution issue? Is this
execution
a coaching
on offense,
issue?
talent on defense. Execution on offense, talent on
No.
defense.
Molly's right.
So
It's
I
all
want to
three.
know, like, can this legitimately be turned? You think it's 3 for 3?
It's all three. It is a
On both sides of
talent.
the ball?
Because if it's talent, there's really
Absolutely.
nothing you can do unless you're going to do
It's a
something at the
talent-
trade deadline, which is like tomorrow.
It's a talent issue on defense, unquestionably. It's a talent issue on offense at the tackle positions and the second wide receiver position.
Okay.
It is an execution issue on both sides of the football. They're calling man coverage on defense. They can't execute man coverage. They don't run the ball. And this is why when you fall in love as an offense with the run-pass option, the RPO, your offensive line doesn't know what's happening with the football. Are we handing it off? Or are we throwing it? We're not great at run blocking. We're not great at pass blocking. So it's an execution issue, and it is a little bit of a coaching issue. Because at some point, I love Andy Reid, AB, they're phenomenal, right? Yeah. At some point, they are going to have to look those offensive linemen in the eye and go, we got to run the football. I don't care if they've got one extra person down near the ball than we do. Okay. We have to move people off the line of scrimmage.
They throw the football. They don't run it nearly enough. And as a result, when you're not effective, first of all, you're coming off the field. You're giving opposing offenses more bites at the apple. And on top of it all, you got a defense that can't handle it, even if it was a limited number of bites at the apple. So imagine what they're going to do when you take into them being bereft of talent and you combine that with them being fatigued. You got no chances of defense. But offensively, you got enough weapons.
So we all have gotten caught up in the dynamic, in the dramatic, and you want to see it every week. And Patrick Mahomes need to just play some boring football.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.